Hello, Bryan.
Yeah, just a minute. Hey, listen, sorry, I don't have a lot of time. It's Bryan from This, That, and the Other. Look, okay, I want to tell you everything. I want to tell you the truth about wood. You want to know about the real stuff? You want to know why the earth is hollow and why we're being run by aliens? You want to know about the stuff they're putting in your Gatorade and why you should be eating your dogs and why renewable resources are a lie and we're living inside of a hologram. And I'll tell you all this, but you have to listen to This, That, and the Other. You have to subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. Don't tell Sam though. Don't tell him.
Ryan, what are you doing? Are you making an ad without me?
No, listen, I gotta go. Subscribe to This, That, and the Other.
You bastard.
9/11 was a lie. What happened to buildings?
So y'all, what's poppin'? It's the homie Forever Cabron. We out here, posted like a mailbox. It's been a long day. I messed up my hand today at work, and you start feeling your age, dog. I'll tell you that right now. This week's topic conversation I want to discuss is to touch back on that conversation me and Bryan had the first time around. You feel me? He put up some great questions. Number one being is what water means, and the simplest way I can break it down, dog, it's like how you nurture nature, you feel me? Y'all remember that little Ziploc science experiment we all did? Put some lima beans, some soil, a fucking wet napkin, I guess, and watch life grow. So I mean that in that sense, literal. Because there's an old Mexican proverb that says, nos trataron de enterrar, pero se les olvidaron que somos semillas, which is the literal translation is that they tried to bury us forgetting that we're seeds. And that's one of those things that goes back to indigenous roots, indigenous beliefs, you feel me? And that's what I mean by water. That's what I mean about coming together and as a collective giving each other the resources and the knowledge to strengthen our bond with our ancestors, with our parents, with our family, with our kinfolk, That's what I try to genuinely get at when I'm talking about water, Again, tying into that other saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it, And again, water being that source, that nutrient, that things that brings culture in your life, you feel me? And growing up, I didn't see enough self-love for our community, and again, community being the Latino brown spaces that I grew up in. So now that I'm older, now that I'm more mature, I'm able to articulate my ideas a little bit better. When I was younger, it was hard to pinpoint exactly what I was missing and what I was lacking, Shout out to the future. And next to that, I also wanna there's a means of information that get lost along the way, This is just a real quick sidebar I hope to touch on later, about how we've entered this social media space. real quick, we went from the age of technology to the age of information, and now people think that we're in the age of streaming. And I personally feel like we're in an age of communication, you feel me? If streaming is doing one thing, it's conveying thoughts, ideas, and everything else in between about that information technology we existed in and now sharing, you feel me? It's a new wave to think, in a matter of speaking. And now I'm trying to tie that into the Mayan prophecy of 2012, where the world as we know it was gonna end. And shouts out to those fools that brought Christianity, because they are always so doom and gloom, you feel me? But that philosophy, you know, it's up for interpretation, because at the end of the day, that train of thought or philosophy wasn't allowed to blossom and grow. So wherever that prophecy ended, you know, people outside of that community are left to wonder, oh, the world's gonna end or whatever. But I'm trying to bring all that into my bitch ass being Mesoamerican, you feel me? It's a term that I heard used to describe the indigenous tribes of central Mexico and central of the Americas, you feel me? Like, if the cradle of life is supposed to be Mesopotamia for the eastern side of the hemisphere, then for us it becomes Mesoamerica. And I decided to use that term just because it allows me to incorporate anyone within that space, homie. Like, I feel like we're legit numbers. I feel like we're a force to be reckoned with, you know, to bring that back into the Mayan prophecy of 2012, and of course to include the idea of the age of the communication that we're in. It's interesting that and I'm painting a broad brush here, dog, so I'm gonna try to navigate these bitch ass waters, okay? And I truly mean no disrespect. But when it comes to the idea of the apocalypse, redemption, like the Abrahamic or whatever the fuck the word is, religions that are, of course, Christianity, Catholic, Judaism, and the Quran, it's one of those things that they want to fucking what's that shit that they said about Sodom and Gomorrah? Like fire and brimstone, dog. That's the shit they live for. If you a sinner, dog, get ready for fire and brimstone. Hell's hot. Yeah, dog, and the ocean's cold. I really don't care. But it's interesting to me that in 2012, the world as we knew it kind of did end, you know. That analog lifestyle for 30 seconds, you know. TV stopped picking up, you know, radio waves, you feel me? We're so far removed from the generation that had lead in their gas, and statistics of back then show that crime was higher. So we've left an era behind, right? And yet here we are talking about selfie streaming, tweeting, Snapchatting, Instagramming, Facebooking. Holy shit, that's fucking exhausting, guys. And we haven't even included the fucking forums. Don't ever enter the comment sections, dog. But hey, high key, low key, I'll see you there. But that Mesoamerican philosophy that the Mayans had, that in 2012 the world as they knew it was gonna change, came to fruition. Go back home, go back to your country states, and that's if you're from the western side of the hemisphere, you feel me? And the world as the indigenous root knew it as has officially changed, you feel me? And that's kind of fascinating, because when they said that the world was gonna end, it's kind of, to me, and this is a self-interpretation, it was a way of thinking, it was a way of communicating, it was the way of breaking shit down. I mean, look at us now, 2019, and we are on some other bullshit. Shout out cancel culture, dog. Y'all a bunch of bitches. But it's fascinating that in that space, in time, like, think about it for 30 seconds, dog. We're entering 2020, and the year after that begins the final countdown for like 500 years. You know what I'm saying? Of European ideals or what have you. But within those 500 years, they were not able to eradicate the root that they try to burn, you know. Case in point, they tried to bury us, but they forgot we're seeds. And it's a beautiful thing right now, kind of watching my community come up and try to, you know, break out of the egg, try to stretch itself, you feel me? Trying to show what we're capable of, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like as much as everyone's running the cash out, they're forgetting the things that unite us, you feel me? If you read the news, and understand that I just said read, you would see that nationalism across the world is rising, you know, and that shit's problematic in and of itself. But what boggles my mind is how we as a culture are disconnected from our own source and our own roots, you know, like subversive racism, dog. It's one of those things. It annoys me when the homies that are of the, you know, fair player complexion drop some ignorant words, or how brown is supposed to be ugly, dog, and get the fuck out of here. You know, beauty comes in any and every shade, dog. Just, it's whatever. But Mesoamerican, dog, it's, to me, it's in my ears. It's the corn, you know. Sorry about that little tangent. It's the corn that unites us. It's the tradition, the masa, the fucking the thing that was traded up and down, left and right, you know. And I use Mesoamerican because I stated on the previous episodes, and my bitch ass, you know, give me 30 seconds. I'll let you know that Chicano, Latinx, Latinos, Hispanic, dog, it's, you're still excluding our indigenous roots. And yo, mad love to the homies that try to include indigenous groups when they use Chicano or Chicano with an X, dog. Like, props to you, but from a different era, dog, so my bad. But yeah, I believe in the term Mesoamerican because it encapsulates the majority of us, dog. Like we're from that source, we're from that root. Like Mexicans want to claim Aztec this and Aztec that, but they forget that the Aztecs were betrayed by their neighbors, dog. Like, get off that mentality, And mind you, probably my bad for trying to be all inclusive or whatever. You feel me? I'm not politically correct at all, but I try to keep it respectful, dog, because I value my culture, and if you're gonna talk out of pocket, we're gonna have a conversation. You feel me? Because dog, no, like it's not gonna happen. You feel me? You got here on a boat. I can't even begin to digest those kind of philosophies. You feel me? So yeah, I proudly will state that I'm Mesoamerican because I'm a half-breed, I'm a mud, I'm a mestizo. And it's interesting to me that to some people, you're either full breed or you're not, dog. Like, cálmate. Take it easy. You don't want to live that way, you feel me? Because then you're suffocating yourself, I saw a post a while back trying to claim anything as everything as cultural appropriation and shit. It's not like, nah, homie. Some of these tales that come back to the U.S. come from a real place because they understand that these stray seeds gotta come home. You feel me? You hear these stories, you hear these things, and then you go back and you live them, and it's all like, damn, we're a part of something bigger, we're a part of something greater, And that's why I'll fight for the term Mesoamerican, dog. That's why I'll fight for that space, because from my perspective, I've known people that can't go back to their tribe because they married a non-tribe member or whatever you want to call it. You feel me? Some people, and mind you, these people are older. They're from a more rigid generation where it was do or die, Nowadays, the majority of Mesoamericans, I'm gonna call y'all, like we're blessed in the sense that our blood, they thrived, Shouts out La Gualopana. We'll get to Homegirl eventually too, dog. I got a lot to say about the homie. Shouts out to her. But and Juan Diego too, You can't, you got to. Can't forget the homie. But it should encapsulate all of us, My I had a homie, rest in power, dog, and he was always so proud to be half Mexican and half Salvi, or half Guatemalan and half Salvi. Like, he enriched himself on both ends, dog. And we saw the homies holding it down more for, one side. He's all like, you know what, dog? It's on an even platter. And that's props, fool. You know what I mean? Like, that fool held it down for both because he understood that he was from the source, And then I used to know this other fool. Used to talk some dumb shit, went back to his parents' home country And the first thing he told me when he got back was, dog, I wish I had colored eyes like my pops. And I looked at this one, I'm all like, what about your community? What about your, your people, your home? Oh yeah, nah, dog, but had I got my pop's eyes, I'd be slaying all these bitches. And it's all like, it's youth, you feel me? And anyone knocking the youth without trying to give them some supplements, dog, you're a clown, fool. Because at the end of the day, those homies are our legacy, I grew up in gang culture, so a lot of my contemporaries and, older role models have gone through some shit, the ones that have made it, But a good majority didn't. And I feel like my generation was severely lacking water, But here we are, 2019, pop open a fucking app and connect to any community, and it's beautiful, It brings forth the idea of them being right on a whole other level. And to me, it gives me reassurance that I'm somehow on the right path or some shit like that. Now, you feel me? You may disagree with me, dog, but that's cool. Ain't no one really tripping. I just hope you value where you come from, But those are my general thoughts on Mesoamerican and why I use it, Thank you for listening, dog. Shouts out to you. And if you don't come back, dog, I wish you the best. I'ma go spark me another one. But until next time, homies, stay blessed, stay up. Remember the mottos in life, dog. Fuck you, pay me. Robbery is free, but most importantly, make sure that you get it how you live it, dog. Deuce.